Lachiwali 100 mile de Sanja Cha Pawagwanga. You ready to go? Alright guys, so I apologize if the lighting is a tad bit harsh, but I'm using what I got. So right after I last checked in with you guys, everything kind of went to shit. So about an hour after leaving the Barber Motorcycle Museum, Hasso and Ken, who were in the other truck behind us, noticed that it was riding a little rough. It was kind of making like a rattling noise, so they pulled over to check on the trailer. Well, they first thought it was going to be like a loose tire or a loose wheel. Turns out that they actually snapped the back left leaf spring. So we did the math and the calculations and all that, and they were going to be okay with just one axle. They were actually a few hundred pounds below just one axle, so pretty much just had to get everything tied up and kind of out of the way so it wasn't dragging or anything like that. And they said they were just going to take it slow, so they advised us just to kind of go ahead because we were already kind of pressing on Luna's bedtime. Luna has a very strict bedtime. That's just how we parent, and it works out for us. So if we make the bedtime, it's a super easy nighttime routine. We put her in bed and that's it. If not, it's a whole night of just bad news for everybody. So we said okay, so we took off. We were going just, slightly over the speed limit, basically how we've been going all day, and they were cruising around 65 or so. After about an hour after we left them, we get a call saying, hey, we got a flat tire. They had a blowout. Honestly, I don't even know which tire it was yet. I want to say it was probably on that back axle. They were underinflated, which I pointed out to Hasso, but he didn't listen. No, it's probably a large combination of things. Ken said there was some tire rot in it, so it probably was going to happen. They're probably lucky they made it that far. But the issue was when they called me to ask me for help, because I had tools as well as a actual like pump jack, like I don't know if it's called a floor jack. With the big handle and everything, a lot easier than using the stuff that they had in the vehicles. But at that point I was 25 miles ahead, so I would have had to drive 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes back. That's already adding an hour. That would put us way past Luna's bedtime. So what I did was I called my dad, who was about half an hour behind them, and he had tools and everything like that. So I was basically just gonna have him stop off and help them. He's like, I called him, they were right where I thought they were, even closer actually, and he said, okay, yeah, I can help them. We just gotta stop for gas real quick and then we'll be right back on the road. I said, okay. About 20 minutes later, we get a text from my mom saying, we stopped, we got gas. He pulled away from the gas pump, parked somewhere else. I went in to use the restroom, came back out, and now the truck won't start. She says it turns over, but it won't start. Now, an important thing to note is that when I said they stopped to get gas, I actually mean they stopped to get gas. The problem is that my dad has a diesel truck. Apparently the handle was green, or he misread it, or I don't know what happened, but gas got put in a diesel vehicle, and if you've ever done that, you know that's not going to work for a while. So they're going to have to get that truck towed to a dealership or towed to a shop of some sort, and it's going to take a while to get that fixed. And they weren't going to go and be able to help Hasso and Ken, so they just kind of made do with the tools that they had, got it changed, and are now about 30 minutes out. We've been here for about 30 minutes, so we still only ended up about an hour ahead of them. But they're going to stop to get dinner, so maybe not. And then my parents, their credit card got locked. Apparently they either didn't set the travel notification or something else happened, and then they couldn't get a tow truck, and then they called their insurance for roadside assistance and found out that they don't have roadside assistance. So they're in a pickle. They're gonna have to get a hotel for the night, and then we'll probably end up having to drive down and get them, which is gonna be 4 hours round trip. It's 2 hours away. So bit of a bummer, bit of a bad start to the trip, but what's probably going to end up happening is we're probably going to cancel the ride activities for tomorrow and try to get everyone kind of home and safe and in the right place. But the good news is that everyone's okay. No one got hurt. It's literally just money. It's no big deal. Everyone is going to get here safe and alive and breathing. So it could be much worse. You gotta find the silver lining, guys. You gotta keep a positive attitude, because negativity spreads like wildfire, and it's just not what you need in your life. Be positive, stay positive. But not the ideal start to the vacation, but we still have a lot of days ahead of us. So still a good day, just not exactly what we planned.
I think you need some lights to do that. Oh, do you need some lights?
Nope, he's right on the edge, yep.
Hey guys, future Justin stepping in. Actually, it's present time Justin. I'm shooting this just before I release the video. So this is taken like 3 months after the first recent Justin, all right? I'm recent Justin. As you'll see, the theme for this video is basically anything that can go wrong did go wrong, and that still held true for the footage and filming and everything as well. I ended up losing a lot of footage, some due to my own negligence, some due to just it happens. But I'm gonna be stepping in, kind of filling in the gaps, trying to keep everything as cohesive as possible. All right, so basically the first day, everyone was gonna try to get everything fixed as best as they could. So Hasso and Ken went off into a nearby town to hopefully get the trailer fixed. Good news is they were able to find a reputable shop that was going to be able to do it quick and for a reasonable price. Bad news is they made a 45-minute drive into town and then realized that Hasso had taken out all of the tools from the trailer, which just happened to have the locking lug nut key. So they had to drive back 45 minutes to the house, get that, and then drive back another 45 minutes back to the shop. So the stroke of good luck continues there. But one fun thing that did happen is that Brad was actually flying in from Alabama. He had to go to a cousin's wedding, so he basically flew into Alabama and went to the wedding and then flew into Tennessee to meet up with us. And we were, of course, in charge of going and picking him up, but we couldn't do it just in normal style. Unfortunately, there was some logistical errors with this, so I didn't get the shots that I want, but thankfully, we did get some shots. So for those of you who don't know, this is our lovely friend, Rosie. Rosie rides an Indian bagger here, and we thought that it would be really funny for, instead of us picking up Brad in a truck or a car, we send Rosie to go get him. So yeah, here's the little bit that ensued from that.
Did they send you for me?
I am your escort or your
my
ride.
escort. Oh,
Got your helmet for you?
I should have expected that. That's hilarious.
Things happen, man.
Huh?
I said things happen.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Who's in the front? This dude must be.
There's Brad.
You missed so much already, bro.
I've heard.
Hilarious. When we got back to the house, we basically just hung around the house, which was really cool. Unfortunately, we didn't do a cribs episode, which I don't know why we didn't. I think we just straight up forgot because this house was amazing. It was like 3 stories. It had like a jacuzzi under an enclosed porch and an upstairs porch, and it was awesome. But the best part about it, even though we only had one child who was only like 9 or 10 months at the time, we took full advantage of the playground that they had.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Speed him up, Hasso.
I was confused. Dude, you Hasso, you go that way. Oh, dang it.
Come on, catch his stone hands.
And then speaking of our one child who was about 10 months at the time, to kind of explain how delayed and late I am in putting out this video, this was her in Tennessee when this video was initially shot. And now she is running and climbing and jumping and pretty much everything a baby is supposed to be doing at her age. So, sorry guys, this is what we got to work with. I'll be putting out a couple videos here pretty soon that will hopefully explain why. But anyways, back to the video. So with all of these instances happening at the beginning of the trip, we kind of had to do some rearranging of the schedule. Thankfully, we got to keep the same number of ride days and fun days. Basically, they just got swapped. So basically, instead of having a ride day on day 2, we basically just had a fun day on day 2 and did a couple things around town. But, like I said, lost footage and all that, that was one of these days. Basically, we went go-karting. I got challenged by Mrs. Bird to a one-on-one because we were there super early in the morning. We were like the only ones there, and that didn't go well for her. And then we basically went and did some touristy shit that I didn't get any footage of. Well, I take that back. I got a lot of footage of, but lost most of it. So here's a couple bits and pieces that other people got.
Blue moon of Kentucky keeps shining, shine on the one that's gonna let me blue. He was on the moonlit night, the star was shining bright. He whispered from on high, your love say goodbye. I said, blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining, shine on the one that's gonna let me blue. He lay-o, lay-o, lay-o.
So day 2 was pretty fun, but it did not include any riding, which I know that's what you guys are here for. So let's go ahead and transition from our second fun day into the first riding day. So today we're actually heading into the Smoky Mountains National Park. We're going to take a few stops at some of the local attractions like waterfalls and overlooks and things of that nature. So today should be a great video. I'm very excited to get on the road. It is a bit chilly. It's about 55 degrees right now, but by noon it should warm up into like about 80 degrees, so we'll be set. But before we get on the bikes, I got a special message from past Justin. Take it away. Hey, it's current Justin again. I wanted to kind of give a caveat here so I don't get your hopes up too much. This was going to be a very funny prank, and you'll see here in a little bit, but I just want to set the expectations a little bit lower, and I'll explain here and on the other end. So now that you see what we did to the bike, let me say that you're not going to get to see Brad's reaction, unfortunately. One of the reasons why is because, as you saw, we put it on the rear brake only, figuring that, you know, you grab the front brake to maneuver around the parking lot and everything, but with it being Brad and with it being a very sketchy parking lot, he ended up hitting the rear brake before I even had my helmet on, before I had my audio gear going, before I had my camera going, so I didn't get any recollection of that. But it was funny-ish. It was funny, but I'm just upset that I missed it. But if you hear a couple horns in the background of other comms, just know that's it, because we did make him ride with it for about an hour or so before we disconnected it for him. So all in all, somewhat a failed prank, but I hope you appreciate the effort. Thanks, past Justin. We're here with Uncle Ken a couple days, or a day or two prior to the video you're watching now. And we are here at the Moonrise Manor. This is my property out in Kingsbury, Texas. And as I've just explained, Brad flew out to Tennessee, and I'm towing his bike there. So that means that his bike is here unsupervised and just prime and waiting for some sort of pranking shenanigans to take place. So now that we have all the time in the world, we have acquired a little electrical doohickey here with wire and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my extensive knowledge of Harley wiring and all my professional experience to go ahead and rewire his rear brake to where it doesn't just light up his tail lights, his brake lights, but also sets off his horn. Let's do it. All right, so what we did was we ran a T connector from his rear brake pressure switch. That way his taillights will still activate, and it only honks the horn when the rear brake is pressed. So if he's gonna get off and grab the front, nothing happens. But as soon as he goes and hits the rear, good times. All right, back to you, future Justin. Thank you, past Justin. Let's go ahead and get on the bikes.
All right, so this first location is called The Sinks. It is, I believe, a set of waterfalls. So we will be parking in the parking area and then taking a short hike on a paved trail up to The Sinks.
Define short hike.
Half mile one way. 1 mile round trip.
Now I know it's a long way.
Yeah, but there's a constant threat of possibly being eaten by a bear, so that makes it a lot cooler.
Alright guys, so we just stopped here at the Sinks. It's a little waterfall area that you just saw. Now we're gonna hop back on the bikes. Got about another hour ride north, I believe, up to Klingman's Dome. Let's go. So the saga of bad luck has continued. Made it all the way up to the dome place. Can't remember the name of it. Coleman's Dome or something. And there was, I mean, it was packed. There was zero parking. And when you're trying to fit 7, 8 bikes plus a truck, you're very limited on where you can park. So we got there, we saw it was pretty damn busy. Couldn't really find a spot, so kind of just turned around, pulled off at the next overlook area. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but for some reason, I still haven't figured out why, my power bank that are on the back of my helmet was dead as a doorknob this morning. I used it a little bit yesterday for the go-karts, but I would have expected to be around 80-85%, and I was at 0. So I don't know if something for some reason was left on or what the issue was, but it was nothing. So I had to switch over to batteries. So that was already kind of a bad taste in my mouth to start off with, because I hate shooting with batteries, especially on these longer rides. So pulled over to that overlook area, and I was gonna go ahead and swap a battery while I was at it. And while I was pulling my camera down to get the camera out, just like I always do, my GoPro mount just snapped. Just completely snapped in half, and there is no way to salvage it or fix it. I mean, both the tabs broke off, so I mean it's broken at the weakest point, so it's gonna have to be replaced. It can't be repaired. And well, we're in the middle of Tennessee, and I actually did find a Best Buy and stopped by there right before we came and ate, but they didn't have any sort of mounts or anything like that for the actual pieces. They had just the mounts that either go on your wrist or go on your chest. They didn't have any of the actual pieces that I need. So I'm gonna go have to maybe find a different place when we get back into town that might have that piece. But as of right now, I'm kind of SOL as far as getting my helmet camera fixed and running again. So I think what I'm just gonna do for the rest of the ride is maybe focus on maybe like some bike shots and You just run one on the bars, one on the back, get the group, just get some pretty shots, and hopefully let my editing do the magic from here on out. But this trip is just, I'm trying so hard to stay positive, but we're trying to roll with the punches, but I mean, I can only take so much before I just don't even, I have no drive to do it anymore. I could feel myself, I'm right freaking there where I just want to pack up and go home, man. That's, what's bad is I'm so stressed out about it is I can't even enjoy, like, the ride. We're going through the Great Smoky National Park. It's some of the most gorgeous scenery, and I just was flat out not having a good time, and that sucks. So hopefully our luck will turn up from here. I just gotta make the best of a bad situation. Hopefully the videos don't suck too bad. So if they are not up to the snuff that you are used to, I apologize, but I'm literally just playing with the hand I was dealt, guys. All right, back to it. Hey, we're about to go tail on the track with that guy.
VP.